Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, as always, for your support. As we close the year 2024, all eyes are focused in the year 2025. How is it going to be, politically speaking? Because William Ruto has ended this year on a very wrong foot. He has ended it with the tear gas. He has ended it with abductions. There are families who are going to cross over to the next year with pain in their hearts. But apart from that, William Ruto went for Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, and with that he believes that as he begins another year, he has a stable government. Those are not my words, but he calls it a broad-based government. But if you want to understand how things are gonna be, we cannot look anywhere else, but we will listen to the horse's mouth. We will listen to the crocodile making a confession about the hippopotamus. Just recently, Raila Odinga made something that looked like a U-turn when he told William Ruto to his face that you must stop these abductions. William Ruto, in his admission, said, yes, we will stop, but parents must also take the responsibility of nurturing their children to be respectful. And I think he meant that things like creating images of him being in a coffin is something that the parents must speak strongly about. But ladies and gentlemen, I listened to the ODM brigade, Raila's foot soldiers, telling us how they are going to behave in 2025. And this will shock you if you ask me. It is over. And Kenyans must tighten the belts. I want to begin with the Nyando Member of Parliament, Jared Okello, who is telling us that as they cross over to 2025 and Parliament will soon resume, because as we speak, Parliament is on recess, he's telling Kenyans that he's not going to oppose the same government that they gave some experts in the name of P&I, Joho, Oparanya, and John Mbadi. Kindly listen to Jared Okello.
Member of Parliament, we do so many things, including legislation and passing all the relevant laws that govern this country. As we resume our sittings in the month of February, I want to make it clear that because President Ruto has accepted our experts in his government, I cannot turn around now and defeating his bills that have been brought before me by the same experts that I gave him. So moving forward, so therefore moving forward, I want to support every piece of legislation that will come from government. Whether they call me a psychopath, I don't care. I want to close my eyes and support all the issues that shall be brought forth by the experts that we gave him. And one of them is my sister Dorcas Oduor here, the Chief Government Legal Advisor.
That is an insider of the ODM telling us that they are going to support the government policies. It doesn't matter whether they are bad or good. What matters is that the government has accepted the experts, and so they are going to support this government. As if that is not enough, I want you to listen to the Member of Parliament of Alego Songa, Atandi Meli, what he said about the Gen Z's protest. Even after Raila had condemned the protest, Atandi is saying that some of these claims are far-fetched. They are only meant to tarnish the name of this good government led by William Samoei Ruto, something that they're not going to allow. Listen to Atandi.
Because I'm also intelligent, I was also trying to analyze some of the cases of abductions that have come out. And I've realized that some of them are just total propaganda. There may be a few cases, but a number of them are total propaganda. And we want to ask people, the enemies of government, to go slow. Yeah. Some of these stories about abductions are not real. Now, if they are a number that are accurate and are real, we want to urge them to resolve them. But we want to say that all the stories about abductions, most of them are not genuine. They are aimed at tarnishing the name of the government. They are aimed at bringing the government down, the government of the day down. And we don't want to bring the government of the day down. Because one of the reasons why we joined government, to support government, is because we didn't want Kenya to collapse. Many countries have collapsed because of political turmoil. And our work was to bring stability so that the country can move on and the rule of law is respected. So we want that to continue, and we want to ensure that the rule of law is respected, and that if you want to bring down a president, you must wait for the ballot. We don't want to say that you can go to the street, kill people, demonstrate, destroy property, so that you can go into State House. That is not allowed. Wait for the elections and go and get your people to vote for you, and then you follow the procedure of assumption of a president.
Ladies and gentlemen, kindly subscribe to our channel, like and share our videos, and you can also share your comments on the comment section. Thank you once again for your continued support. Ladies and gentlemen, have you heard all this claim by ODM that they are not in government? Have you listened to Junet Mohammed saying that they are still in the position? In fact, Junet Mohammed is the minority leader, meaning that they are still in opposition. If you listen to Jared Okello and you combine the statements with Atandi, what is your conclusion? What is the real meaning of an opposition party? Is it by the mere fact that they came second after the ruling party? Or is it based on how they deal with the government? If you ask me today, whether maliciously or genuinely, the person who's opposing the government is Rigathi Gachagua. And I say whether maliciously or genuinely, all we care about is that he is pinpointing the rot and the ills in the government. If it is a dirty deal, he's saying he does not agree with it. If it is abductions, when Atandi is saying that all this is meant to malign the name of the government, Rigathi is saying, I know those who are taking part in it. And I believe him, he was part and parcel of it sometimes back. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that ODM must not take us for a ride. ODM cannot have their cake and eat it, or eat it and have it at the same time. Purely, they are in the government. You can never be in the government and be in the opposition at the same time. I have always affirmed to you that when William Ruto got to this government, William Ruto wanted to kill the opposition. And he has ensured, he has succeeded in killing the opposition. We do not have any opposition. All we have is the other side, Kalonzo. And I think Kalonzo is still just there. But through the efforts of Uhuru Kenyatta, I don't know whether he will come back, because I understand they really need Kalonzo Musyoka to come to this side so that Rigathi can remain in the opposition alone. But Kalonzo has been promised that Mount Kenya is going to support him. And so with that, I know he might still stick in the opposition. But William Ruto wanted to ensure that he captured Raila's support base. That is how they managed to kill the Gen Z's protest. But going by what we saw today, William Ruto must be a worried man, because we still had the streets thronged with people who are determined to change the course of our country. But the truth is, William Ruto has managed to kill the opposition. And if you want to understand what I mean, I want you to imagine that all that is happening in the country, I want you to imagine that Raila was still in the opposition with all the reinforcement of his foot soldiers, his supporters on the streets. What would have happened? I want to take you back. You can imagine what would have happened during the Gen Z protest if Raila had been in the street with these people and saying, Ruto must go. It would be bad. And I know you are soon asking me, were Luos meant to die on the streets? Were they meant to eat the bullets while others are enjoying the government? That is not what I mean. I'm just saying that whatever informed Raila to get into government, whether for good or bad, Ruto wanted to kill the opposition and he has done it. It could be against the chagrin of others, but others now feel that this is what we wanted. I have realized, because this was also said by Atande himself, that the government is only bad when you are not in it. But once your people are in it, then the government is good. So we were only fighting for our people to be in government. We were not fighting for permanent changes. That is why today, no one is talking about the vacant positions in the IEBC, the formation of the IEBC commissioners. From the ODM side, no one is talking about them. The Finance Bill 2024 that took people to the street will soon come back. And the ODM has told you that they are going to support it. Those are not my words. And so I have realized that this might be the reason why the church decided to join the human rights activists so that they can fight for change in this government. And if you ask me, Raila has done enough. Amekula tiagas ya kutosha. He has been detained. Mzee amejaribu, amejitoza kwa uwanja wa siasa, amesimama. Either the votes were stolen or some people did not just want to see him at the helm of power. And I think Raila has got every right to join the government for whatever reasons. But what I'm saying is that Kenyans must now find a new formation, the forces of change against the forces of status quo. Because the opposition is not with, the ODM is not with the opposition, they are in government. Come 2025, you know that Ruto has the numbers. The very, very numbers that ousted Rigathi Gachagua are the numbers that they are bragging about. But wananchi have got the numbers. And come 2027, that might be a game changer. I don't know what you think, but the ODM has showed you how they are going to behave in 2025, how they are going to vote, who they are going to support, who they are with, the oppressed or the oppressor. They have made it very clear. So we should not allow this blowing hot and cold. When Raila says this, the foot soldiers say that. We now know where they rest, where the vector is pointing at. And if you ask me, I think the minority leadership should be given to Kalonzo Musyoka. I could be wrong, but I think that Kalonzo's party, the Wiper, is the one that is in opposition genuinely. As to whether they can oppose the government or not, that is the party that is in opposition. That is the truth of the matter. What we have now, the ODM and UDA, is an amorphous kind of formation. We do not know the head and the tail. This is what William Ruto used to, lament about when Raila joined hands with Uhuru Kenyatta. He was saying that we did not know who the opposition and the government was. He has done the same thing. The dynasties have come together. Kenyans are left on their own. But I think Kenyans must stop lamenting about Raila. He's done enough. Let them pick it from where he left it. Insulting Raila will not help. He's done enough. Let us have the like-minded people picking it, to oppose Ruto, to check the government, to tell the government that you are maintained by taxpayers' money. You must do what we want. Because in chapter 1 of the Constitution, power belongs to the people, not the ODM, not the UDA, not wipe out any other person, but the people of Kenya. I don't know what to think, but the ODM has stated where their heart belongs.